It's nice to see you saying hello in the chat. Can you please make sure that unless you are speaking that your microphone is muted so that we can have good sound quality? Okay, so now we have 56 participants, so we will get started. Hello, my name is Dr. Catherine Lyon. I am a sociologist at UBC, and I actually did my own undergraduate degree in sociology at UBC. So I have been a UBC student just like you. So welcome. I'm really excited to meet all of you this term and to get to teach you as well. So I have a weekly drop-in session that happens every single Monday after this lecture. It happens every Monday from 3 to 4 p.m. So I've actually booked this drop-in session for during our scheduled class time, so everyone should be available. So at this 3 to 4 p.m. time slot, you can come and ask me any questions at all about the readings, about the lectures, about courses you want to take next year. It's your open time to talk about anything academic or professional. So why do I have this picture of a sad little puppy on the screen here? This is because this is how I will feel if no one comes to talk to me, because I'll be sitting here in front of my laptop every Monday from 3 to 4 just waiting. So please don't make me lonely. And office hours will be in Collaborate Ultra. There's a special tab that says Catherine's drop-in hours, Mondays at 3, and that is where I will be. I'd also like to take this chance to introduce you to our amazing teaching team. So I'm your professor, but we also have 4 teaching assistants. So together there's 5 of us that are here to help you through this class. So I'm going to ask first Anna, our TA Anna, to unmute her microphone and to introduce herself and her role as a TA in our class.
Hi everyone, I'm Anna. So this is my second year working with Dr. Lyon on this course, and I really enjoyed working with everyone last year as well. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to TA again. I thought it was really awesome working with people from different parts of the world, and I got to learn things from them, and they learned things with me. So it was really great that we could all come together and learn from one another. So what I like about sociology, and I hope you guys will be excited to learn, is that we can use sociology to explore our daily lives. And so even things that we look at, like I can see here, looking at some people's pictures, if you're a fan of K-pop, Blackpink, or BTS, we can actually use sociology and sociological theories to analyze that and talk about some things that we noticed. That's one of the things that I love about sociology, is that we can use it to analyze everything in society, whether it's clothing, what's happening right now with the COVID pandemic. We can all use sociology to help us work through some of these issues that we're seeing. So thanks, and I hope to can't wait to meet everyone, work with everyone. I'll put my email address in the chat. Please feel free if you have any questions. Like Dr. Lyons said, we're always open to questions, even if you think they're silly. There's no such thing as silly questions, and I look forward to seeing you guys in my tutorial.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. So in a minute, Anna's going to share her email address in the chat, so you can just copy and paste it so you have it. And that's such an excellent point about how in this class you can apply what we're learning to popular culture and things that are happening right now, because sociology gives us a set of tools for interpreting trends in the real world. And so every week we're going to have weekly tutorials on Mondays and Tuesdays where you get to have time in a small class one-on-one with your TA like Anna, and you're invited to bring links to things that you are watching that relate to the class. You can bring links to news articles, for example. So I'd like everyone in the chat to write down one thing that they're interested in right now. It could be music, it could be a movie, it could be something happening in the news. I just want to get a sense of what things you care about. So it could just be 1 or 2 words. So for example, I just started the Netflix show Away, so I'm going to write that in the chat, which is about astronauts going to Mars. Ah, The Breakfast Club, quite a classic. Hip hop music. The Handmaid's Tale, that's really heavy but really important. Oasis, K-pop. Drawing, playoffs. AC/DC. Cooking. Shoes. Sleep. Yeah, you'll have to prioritize sleep this term for sure. Dancing. I've actually been teaching myself how to sing at home because I'm not going out very much. So I downloaded an app and I'm practicing singing every day. I probably will never sing for you. Basketball, bunnies, Guns N' Roses, sports, rock music. Awesome. Thanks very much. So Anna posted her email right before everyone shared. So I'm just going to post it again here so you can have it. How about Cecilia? Cecilia is another one of our TAs. Could you please unmute your microphone and tell us a little bit about yourself, Cecilia?
Okay, so hi everyone. As Catherine said, I'm Cecilia. I'm one of the TAs for this course, and I'm a fourth year student majoring in sociology. I really love sociology because it not only trains you to look at the world differently and critically analyze it, but it also enables you to think of different ways you can change the world and make it a better place. First year sociology actually really opened my eyes to that, which is why I love teaching it. I've taught 102 with Catherine in the past. That'll be our course next semester. And I really love working in Vantage because you have all these people from all over the world coming together to talk about different things. So you get to learn about a lot of different perspectives. Because of that, I'd really appreciate it if you guys would come to my student drop-in hours. I get lonely too. And I really do like talking about our course material. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And yeah, thank you. I'll put my email in the chat box.
Great. Thanks so much, Cecilia. I completely agree about how sociology looks for the root cause of problems that are happening. Often we get confused about what is really causing problems. The media creates a lot of fear and we scapegoat and we look at the wrong cause of problems. So this term we're going to look at things like climate change and other problems like the pandemic and see how that's affecting people in society and what could be done differently for the future. And also, we have our TA Wajiha here. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Wajiha. I'm a PhD student in social justice. I've also TA'd for this course before and really, really enjoyed working with Dr. Leon and also the students at Vantage, which, as Anna and Cecilia said, have like so much to offer in terms of perspective just because they're people from all over the world. What I really, really like about sociology and the first year course is how, concepts that we take for granted in our old world, in our own lives and see as established truth are really put to test. So your ideas about what is the right form, what is the your ideas about basically race, race, sexuality, class, everything is really put to test. And so your notions about how you think about issues are really put to test. And that is what I love about the first year course is how you like start noticing patterns and different issues around the world that you take as just truth in the world. And yeah, I really look forward to getting to know you and work with you. And please do come to the office hours. As Dr. Line said, it's your space to come and discuss any questions that you might have, discuss the course. As Anna said, there is no question can be considered as silly. So please, like, that's your space to come and get help and support that you might need through this course. So please come to the office hours. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Wajiha. And we have a fourth TA, Dan Prisk, who is not able to come today, but I'm going to post his email address in the chat now so that you have it, and you will meet him in tutorial soon. So this course has 3 general themes that we are going to pursue together this term. The first one is social inequality, thinking about what makes inequality social in nature as opposed to biological, and we'll think about how societies are organized according to social groups who have control over resources. So as Wajiha mentioned, we'll think about things like gender and race and class and sexual orientation and ability. We'll also think about social interaction. So how do people relate to each other every single day? And if we think about society, sociology is the systematic study of human society. We could look at society as a large structure filled with institutions like the economy, the education system, healthcare, politics. That's one way at the macro level, the large scale level of analyzing society. But at the micro level, the small everyday level, we can analyze the interactions that we have, just having a conversation with another person. That is also what society is built up of. And there's been so much change recently. We are having this interaction mediated by this technology. So we're going to ask, how does that change our identity, our relationships, and our overall well-being? And then lastly, we're interested in social institutions. So these are the habitual ways that society meets its basic needs. So we needed people to be safe and cared for. So we created the institution of the family. And now there's a set pattern and habit for what a family looks like. We needed younger generations to be taught the values and skills and norms from the previous generation. So we created the institution of education. So we're also going to study the systems that we have in place to meet our basic needs. And one of our themes this term, because the pandemic is still happening, is the pandemic itself. So you're going to see examples from COVID, which I think will be really relevant because we're all making decisions every day about how to survive through this pandemic. But first, before we talk about sociological thinking, today I want to talk a little bit about how this course will work. So in Canvas, I have uploaded the syllabus. So you can take a minute to go to our Canvas course now and open the syllabus. If you have any questions, you can ask them today or in office hours today. The first thing, once you open the syllabus, oh, thank you, Cecilia, for offering that link. So if you click on that link, it takes you right to our syllabus in the Canvas course, so you can look at it as we talk. Actually, I'm going to be quiet for 1 minute while you can look at any parts of the syllabus that you haven't seen already. Okay, so hopefully you have some questions or comments about the syllabus at this point. There is a schedule on page 2 of the syllabus that outlines what we're going to do every single week. So you might want to turn to that now. And I'm going to give you a breakdown of what happens every week. So here is our weekly course structure. There's 4 things that happen. Our week starts on Monday, where we have our live lecture, Mondays at 1 p.m. So that's what we're doing now for this week. During this live lecture, you'll get an overview of what the whole week is about, and you'll get a set of tools and concepts for making sense of the content for the week. During this live lecture, you can ask questions and we can have interaction with each other so we can get to know each other. Then, after the live lecture for the week, on Canvas, our module for the week opens at 2 o'clock. So now we're going to go into Canvas together and look at a module. Okay. So now you should be able to see my whole Canvas screen, which looks a little bit funny. So hopefully you can see that I am looking at the Canvas module. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so here we have on our main page the syllabus. We have information about what to do if you have technical issues. And then we have our weekly module. So our module for this week is called Sociological Imagination. It starts with our live lecture, which is at 1 p.m. today. And then you have material to do on your own for the rest of the week. So overall, we're supposed to spend 3 hours together in lecture every week for this class. So our live lecture is about 1 hour, maybe an hour and a half sometimes. And then the rest of the week is another 2 hours or an hour and a half. So this week, you're going to watch one mini lecture that's about 12 minutes long about this concept of the sociological imagination. So if you click on it, you will see that there is a video lecture that I made for our class. So if you click on it, it'll play right there for you. But there's also a button underneath it called Class, Discuss, or Annotate. If you click this button, you will be able to comment on the lecture as you watch it, and you will be able to see other students' comments. And for this commenting, you get 10% of your course grade. So I'm going to click on this button, Class, and I'll be taken to a new window in UBC's class program where I can see the lecture again, and I can play it in there. Welcome to today's lesson on thinking sociologically. So there it is. And then you have the option of commenting on the side, except that right now it's not letting me comment because I'm not logged into class. So first you need to create your class account. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to go to the website class.ubc.ca. So you might want to open a window and try this with me at the same time. So the website is class.ubc.ca, and I'll share that in the chat box right now. So let's all go there together. Class.ubc.ca. And once I'm there, I'm going to click Sign into Class. And we are in the Faculty of Arts, so I'll click Faculty of Arts. And then I'm going to click on the Login for UBC users. Then ask you for your CWL, your campus-wide login. So now that I've signed into class, I can go back to that lecture in Canvas and click on Class, Discuss, or Annotate. and I should be able to add a comment. Welcome to today. So maybe you can try seeing if you can comment on a video. Okay, so it looks like it's at the bottom. Click here and start typing to leave time for the comments. So here in class, as the video is playing, maybe I ask a question in the video. Welcome to today's lesson on thinking sociologically, how to activate your own sociological imagination. I'm Professor Catherine Lyon. So here I might say, this is the same concept from the reading. This was defined in the reading as blah, 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 and then I would add the comment from the reading. And then I would click post in the sociology department. And then what we can see here is that this is my comment on the side of the page. And as all the other students in the class are watching the video, your comments will pop up here. And so this is kind of like being in class together and raising your hand and asking a question or making a comment to the student next to you. So I'm trying to replicate this interaction. So maybe you don't understand something in the lecture. You could write the question here and then another student will reply to it. So there's 3 ways that you can participate in class to get your 10%. Every module you're asked to comment on 1 lecture in class. A comment can look like a question. So you could ask a question that you want the answer to or ask a question to help other students process the material. Your comment could also look like an answer to another student's question, so you're helping another student learn. The 3rd type of comment is to add new information. So maybe something just happened in the news, or maybe a new article was published. You could share it here in your comment, and that would be your contribution. So are there any questions about class? Okay, so, whoa. This is too much. People are a bit overwhelmed by this. You can do it, I promise. I had to learn how to do all of this. 3 months ago, I didn't know how to do any of these programs. And I had to learn, and you can learn too. I've set it all up for you. I've done all the hard work. Okay, then Huzen, sorry if I say your name wrong, is saying, do we have to watch 2 videos? So every week, you have to watch all the videos because that is the lecture. But you only have to comment on 1 video. Okay, Yasmin is asking, but we are going to look at the video at different times. Does that mean we will have to come back to the lecture video several times? So it's up to you. You are only required to comment once, but I actually go and look at the videos a lot because I think the discussion is really interesting. So part of the learning is hearing what other students are saying. Because you're at different places in the world, so maybe a student in another country has another perspective. So I suggest that you go back and check out what other students have said before the end of the module. Okay, is there a time limit? So you have the whole week. The module's open for the whole week from Monday to Sunday. So as long as you comment sometime in that 6-day period, that's all you have to do. So I left it really open to give you a lot of flexibility. Yes, I will grade comments. So then you'll get a 10% grade for your comments. So this is kind of like participating in class. You will not get notified as a new comment, so it's up to you to check back in. So maybe if you post once at the beginning of the module, then you can check back in before the end of the module. This is meant to be really interesting and fun because you never know what other students are going to think. Are there any other questions about this class? Okay. So everyone must have 1 comment each week. So it's just 1 comment each week. And then it's up to you if you want to do more commenting. So I might get excited and I might comment extra, but that's not required. Okay. So that's the first part, is watching the lectures and commenting on 1 lecture in class. So this module has our first lecture, and then if I go back to our main page, we can see that this module also has a reading. So instead of a textbook that you have to pay for, I have just chosen small chapters and I've put them in our Canvas course for free for you. So all you need to do is click on the name of the reading and it will show up right there. So this reading is 5 pages. And you can download it here by clicking the PDF button if you want to save it to your laptop, or you can just read it on here. If you load it, you can highlight it and take notes. So the reading will help you understand better the lectures. So this reading is about the sociological imagination, which is also the topic of our lectures this week. And this is by C. Wright Mills, who's the author of the idea, the sociological imagination. So you can see what he was thinking when he came up with this idea in 1959. And he gives lots of examples. Okay, so if we look at what's next, after the reading, then there's another miniature. So this is your second option if you want to comment on this mini lecture in class. And then the last part of the module is a discussion. So after you've learned all this material, in this discussion, you have 2 questions to pick from, and then you will post your answer here at the bottom. Also get 10% for a class discussion. So after you post your response to the discussion, here is where part 2 requires you to get the full mark by responding to 2 other students' posts. So this discussion activity asks you to think sociologically about the number of children that women have around the world. So as you'll see, in some countries, the average number of children per woman is just 1. But in other countries, the average number of children is actually 6. So sociologically, we're seeing childbirth not just as a personal decision, but as something shaped by the country that you live in. Just by being born in a different place, you're likely to have a different number of children. So you're asked to do research on this, to pick a country, and then to comment on 2 other students' posts who pick different countries than you. Just like everything else this module, the discussion is due at the very end on Sunday night. So you're just doing 1 module per week. That is correct. Sorry, I'm coughing because there's there's all this fire, there's all this smoke in the air in Vancouver. I'm not sure where you are, but I'm having a really hard time with my throat. So, okay. Let's stop this screen sharing and go back to our syllabus. Yes, the lecture is being recorded, so if anyone gets cut out during this time, you'll be able to watch it later. So let's go back to our syllabus here. Yes, you are going to submit the assignment under the reply button. Okay, so the module for the week opens Monday at 2 o'clock, and then you have all the way until Sunday night to complete each module topic. So that is watching the lectures, doing the reading, and posting in a discussion. So that's the 3 things you need to do, 1 module per week. Also, on Monday and Tuesday, you have your live tutorial with your TAs. So everyone in this course gets their own dedicated TA, either Anna, Cecilia, Wajiha, or Dan. So you can look on your own schedule whether your tutorial is Monday afternoon or Tuesday. Tutorials don't start this week, they start next week. So next Monday or Tuesday, the 21st or the 22nd. I'm going to pause now and look at some questions. Okay, so do we need to answer 2 discussion questions? Okay, So for the class comments on lecture, you just need to do one post. For the discussion in Canvas, you need to answer one question and then respond to 2 students' posts. And then Jing Yao is asking, does the reading have a relationship to the discussion part? So yeah, usually the discussion in the Canvas module will build on the reading lectures. So it's all connected. So the lecture introduces you to the ideas and explains them. The reading goes deeper and gives you examples, and then the discussion asks you to apply it to a real world situation or to your own experience. So each part of the course has a different function for your learning. And it's set up to help you with deep learning rather than surface learning. So deep learning helps you connect ideas to what you already know in your mind, and it helps you remember it more fully rather than just surface level memorization. Okay. Okay, so Chen is asking, for this week, we only need to attend today's live class. So today's live class is just the beginning of this week. After you finish this live class today, you will see the module for this week is open, and then you have until Sunday night to finish that module. So you can pick for the discussion this week, you can pick which question to answer to in Canvas, but then you can also pick which 2 students' posts you want to respond to. So how do I, Jaya Sun, sorry, I think I said that really wrong, is saying, how do we respond to others? So you will see all of the responses in the same discussion page, and you can just click and there will be a reply button under each one. It's almost like on a Facebook page where you can reply to comments. Okay, so you'll be able to see each other's posts. Yeah, that's right. Okay, and your name is Kevin. Okay, thank you. I'll learn your names slowly. Okay, are there any other questions before we keep going? All right. So the posts are on Canvas. Yes, the discussion posts are on Canvas. Everything is in one page on Canvas. So let me go back to the page for you here. Oh, you can't find it. Really? Okay, I'm going to go back to the page so you can see it. Can anyone else find it? Okay, so our course, everything happens in Canvas on the main page. There's just one page in our course, and everything you need for that week is under the module for that week. The only thing that's outside of Canvas is the class discussion, but to get there, you just click on the button under the video in Canvas. So Kevin, if you still can't find it, stay after class and we can go through it together, and anyone else as well. Okay, then Monday and Tuesday, you have a live tutorial with your TA. So those start next week, and that is a whole hour where you get to talk with your TA and with the other students. So this will be a group of about 20 students in your tutorial, and that is where you can bring any questions that you have about the lecture, anything that was unclear in the reading. Suyan, yes, there's no tutorial tomorrow. It starts the week after, so September 21st or September 22nd. Okay, so in tutorial, you will get to talk about the reading. So let's say you're doing the reading this week on the sociological imagination, and there's a sentence that doesn't make sense to you. Highlight it and bring it to tutorial, and then you can discuss it in the tutorial, and by the end you'll have an answer. So the goal of tutorial is not for the TA to just give you all the answers, but to help you figure out how to get the answer. So you'll have other students that can help you as well. The tutorials will also look at the key concepts from the lecture for that week. and you will look at applying them to real world situations. So you might bring in a news article and see how the concept from the week applies to that news article to help us understand what's going on. You get 10% of your grade from your tutorial participation. So what you'll notice is that this class is set up in small chunks of 10 or 15%. And if you do the work every week, it's really easy to get those grades. And if you look in the syllabus, there's a list of ways that you can get your participation marks in tutorial. Can I ask you to post in the chat ways that you could show your participation in tutorial? And you could also cheat right now and go to the syllabus and find where it talks about that. So I'll give you 1 minute to come up with one way you could show participation in tutorial. And the tutorials are going to be in Collaborate Ultra, just like this. So Yuki is saying general participation by leaving comments on class. And that is true, but what I'm asking about now is during your 1 hour tutorial, how could you participate in there? So Sengal is saying asking questions. Yes, you don't have to have the answers, but you can come with questions about the lecture or the reading. Speaking and learning from others, right. So if you help other students learn, then that is participation. Or if you ask questions so other students can help you learn, that is also participation. Critical thinking, yes, that will work really well. You might ask about whether a concept is useful or if it has limitations. You don't have to agree with all the ideas in this class. You just have to be ready to think about them, the pros and cons. Share ideas and experiences. Show connections between lectures and real life. So this sociology class is special because we're studying things that affect all of us. So you might say, oh, you know, that actually happened to me, and here's what I think about it. We all have different life experiences that are valuable. Deepen the conversation and discussion. Okay, great. So in tutorial, you'll be able to comment in the chat. You'll also be able to raise your hand, which I just did. I don't know if you can see that. And you will have small group breakout rooms. Okay, so Shuan Tong has raised their hand. So would you like to unmute your microphone and speak? Or were you just practicing the hand raising button?
I just want to say how to raise my hand. And you see that?
I was able to see that you raised your hand, yes.
Hello? Yeah. I just do a test.
Okay, great. So it worked really well. So the hand raising button is in the center bottom of your screen. Okay, and then if we move on to number 4 of the weekly course structure, we can see that on Sunday night, your weekly module is due. So then you'll hand in everything on Canvas, and then it starts over again on Monday. Are there any more questions about this course structure? Okay, great. So once you try it this first week, then it will make sense. Bruce is asking what's the difference between SOCI 101 V01 and SOCI 101 V1A. Okay, so the V01 is our main class that we're having right now, and V1A is your tutorial section. So everyone has a 1 hour tutorial on Monday or Tuesday with your TA. So that's how you know which tutorial you're in. V1A is the first tutorial. Okay, Kevin, yes. So if you stay after class, then we can talk together about all your questions. So here's what the calendar looks like on the course schedule. This is page 2 of the syllabus. So this week, the theme is how can I use the sociological imagination? So we're having our live lecture right now in Collaborate Ultra. Then our module opens at 2 o'clock today. and then the rest of the module is due midnight on Sunday. What you'll notice when we come back together again is that on Monday, September 21st, in our live lecture, we are going to start with a short quiz. The quiz will have 10 questions in it, and it will be based on what you did the week before. And quizzes throughout the whole term are worth 15%. So if there's 13 weeks of the term, then each quiz is worth just a bit over 1% of your final grade. So it's not worth a lot. It's just meant to encourage you to keep up with class material. The quizzes will be multiple choice and true false, and we'll pick up the key ideas from the module that you just finished. And then you can know right away if you misunderstood something. So pay attention to the course schedule because it tells us the topic, and it also tells if anything special is happening. So the week of October 12th, there's a holiday on Monday, so we're not having live lecture and we're not having tutorial that week. And then the week of October 19th, we actually have our midterm in class on October 19th at 1 p.m. instead of our live lecture. So that brings me to the grading for this course. So we've talked about tutorial engagement of 10%. We have talked about the module quizzes, which are worth 15%. We've talked about module discussion, worth 10%, which is where you answer one question and then you respond to 2 other students' answers. And we've talked about the class comments on lectures. What we still need to talk about are the midterm and final exam and the infographic, which is your major assignment this term. So we'll start by talking about the infographic. So the infographic draft and final together is worth 20% of your grade. Has anyone made an infographic before? Okay, so some people. So this is a visual and engaging way of presenting information to the public. So because COVID-19 is happening right now and the public needs as much information as possible, you are going to pick a topic and make an infographic about it that the public needs to see. So what I have done is I have contacted 10 different nonprofit volunteer organizations who work with people that are affected by COVID-19. And they would like us to do research on COVID and to create an infographic that they will use with their clients. So I'm going to post later today on Canvas the information about each of the 10 organizations and what they are looking for. So they're going to give you directions on how to make an infographic, and then you're going to make it for them. Okay, so Zihua is asking, like an IELTS writing task 1. I'm not sure what that is. It's going to be an interesting assignment and you're going to have to work hard to do the research, but it should also be really cool. And I'll tell you more about this next week and give you some examples. But the key thing is that we are going to deliver this infographic to the organization and they're actually going to use the best ones in real life. So you get a chance to try it for 5% on November 5th and get feedback before you submit your final one on November 19th. And that one is worth 15%. So you get a practice run that's worth less. Then the last 2 parts of the course are the midterm and the final exam. The midterm is just worth 15% and it's happening on October 19th. So it is 5 or 6 weeks away. And it will cover everything that we have done up until the midterm. So that will include, if we go back to our calendar, That will include today's content on the sociological imagination. It'll include next week on the characteristics of sociological thinking, and it'll include 2 more modules, one on health and one on age and ageism. So the midterm will only cover 4 weeks of material, and then you have a whole week to study on October 12th where no new information is introduced. The midterm will have multiple choice questions, true-false questions, and a short written question. And we'll give you a practice midterm before the midterm so you can see what it will be like. Then the final exam will be very similar to the midterm with the same style of questions, but it will cover the whole course from the first week to the last week of the course. So make sure that you keep your notes the whole time. And that is worth 20%, and it will happen in December online. Are there any questions right now about how this course is assessed? Okay, awesome. So I do have my office hours today from 2 to 3 o'clock, so 1 hour from now, if you have any questions. And if you want to stay after this, then I can also answer your questions. So to get you ready for the module this week, I'll give you a brief introduction. Oh, okay, Yasmin is asking, do we have to submit the infographics to you or to the nonprofit? So you'll submit them to me, and then me and the TAs will try to think about which ones are the best infographics, and then we'll deliver those to the nonprofit. And we'll let you know if the nonprofit is using them on social media, like on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. So you can pick your topic. So it'll be published for the public. So if there's a nonprofit, it might be on the wall in their lobby, or they might email it out to the people that they serve, for example. So one about the pandemic, yes. So for example, one nonprofit in Vancouver is called Food Stash, and they help people get food who don't have enough food. So as you can imagine, the pandemic has led to higher unemployment and more people that don't have enough food. So they want to educate the public about this food crisis so more people volunteer and donate food. So they're one of the nonprofits that has asked us to create an infographic about food security under COVID-19. But there's lots of other topics. Go Ping is asking, where can I choose the topic? Yes, in Canvas, there'll be a list of topics and you can sign up for the topic that you want. It's completely your choice because I want it to be something that you care about. So I'll have those topics posted later this week. Okay, so it's almost 2 o'clock, or it is 2 o'clock, so it's time for you to start your module for this week. So you have 2 hours today, dedicated class time to work on it if you want, but you have the whole 6 days until Sunday night to finish it. So it's up to you how you want to organize your time. But if you comment now in class and do the discussion now, then there'll be more topics available. Whereas if you comment at the end of the week, most of the comments will already have been taken and it'll be harder to say something original. So I suggest you comment soon. So this week, I am asking you, why are you attending university? And by the end of the week, in our live lecture next week, we are going to think about whether university attendance is a personal choice or a sociological pressure. And this is the key question C. Wright Mills asks us in the reading on the sociological imagination. We often think that everything we do is driven by us. And he's saying we need to look outside ourselves to see how the time period that we're living in and the place that we're living in affects every possibility that we have for our lives. This helps us identify, in a broader perspective, the root cause of the situations that we face. So next week, I'm going to ask you this question: why are you attending university? And we are going to do a sociological analysis of university attendance rates across groups, like across class groups and racial groups, and across countries. So that is the end of our live lecture for today. It was very nice to be introduced to you today. I'll stay here if you want to stay for questions, and I hope to see you in my office hours at 3 o'clock today. And remember, tutorials don't start until next week. So have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.